lying to you and they have never read an actual romance or a romantasy. I don't know, this book really confused me. I had a good time. Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back if you are new. My name is Cece and today's video is going to be my June wrap up and July TBR. June was a rough month for me, unfortunately. I got into a reading slump. Yeah, I got into a reading slump and then I got violently ill with the flu. I am still just getting over my sickness, so if I sound funny, that's why. But I did in fact manage to read a total of, I read 6 books, which honestly is not bad considering as I think last month I read 7 or 8 books possibly. So it's not too bad. I'm not mad about it. Let's just get into it. So I'm going to start off with my DNF. Now this is a soft DNF. So the book that I had was from my June TBR. So a lot of these weren't actually on my June TBR. I didn't read anything from my June TBR. So that just tells you how I was doing, essentially. But the one that I soft DNF is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdul. I am soft DNFing this just because I was intrigued in the plot and the storyline of what was happening. I just was starting to get a bit bored and I just felt like I was in a very weird mood and I didn't want that to affect my feelings about this book, so I've decided to DNF this one for now. But I was intrigued. I think I got maybe like 200 pages in. Either 200 or 150 pages in. It was quite a decent way in before I just decided to just realize that I was not paying attention to what was happening in the story and felt like it would have been doing the book a disservice if I just continued, because I probably would have only given it like a 2-star. So softly DNFing this. I will eventually come back to it at some point, just not right in this moment. Okay, so the next 2 books that I've read go hand in hand with each other because I discovered the Boys of Tommen series at the end of May. I obviously continued on with the series, so I did read Keeping 13 and Saving 6. This is book 2 and 3 of the series, so I have already read the first one. Keeping 13 sort of wraps up and concludes Johnny and Shannon's story. I didn't enjoy this one as much as I did the other ones. I'm not entirely too sure why. It definitely didn't need to be as long as it is, I feel, but I still really enjoyed being back with the characters and sort of learning how they were going to cope through the utter shitstorm that happened at the end of book 1. So ultimately I did give this one a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I have to say that so far my favorite character in this series is going to be Mrs. Kavanagh. I absolutely love Johnny's mum. She is absolutely incredible, and both of Johnny's parents actually remind me so much of my own parents and just how they go out of their way to help people without expecting anything in return. That's just how my parents are as well, and that's how I've been raised. And I really connected with Johnny in this whole aspect of helping Shannon through a really rough time. So I really did enjoy this one. That being said, I do also find myself really interested in knowing what Gibbsy and Lizzie's connection is to each other, because there's definitely something going on there. Not romantically, but there's definitely something going on there in terms of their history. And so I am really desperate to pick up Lizzie's story to find out what that is. So yes, 3.75. Then we read Joey and Aoife's book. This obviously follows Joey Lynch and Aoife Mallory. I'm probably butchering that and I do apologize. This is kind of like a prequel to Binding 13. This is set before the events and sort of the beginning events of Binding 13. So obviously this is following Joey. Joey is Shannon's older brother and he goes through a really rough time. You get to see a little bit more backstory about him and his addiction, while also attempting to fight his feelings that he has for Aoife. She is also struggling as well with dealing with him and trying to help him and wanting to make sure that he is safe. It is a very hard read. All of these books are honestly going to be a hard read. There are a lot of trigger warnings in these books, especially, honestly, just all of them. I can't even like think, so far I have only read 4 books in the series, but 3 books in the series, but I still don't know which one's worse, if I'm honest. This one was really rough to get through, especially because you can feel the love in this that Aoife has for Joey, and it just hurts so bad that he wants to reciprocate it, but he feels like he can't because he's so damaged, and it hurts so bad because you're just like, I just want to pick you up and cuddle you and tell you that everything is going to be okay. But you're like a little chihuahua that'll probably bite my head off. So, really, really enjoyed this one. I still gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Just because it didn't give me that 4-star feeling. I just felt like there was a little bit of like a drag in certain aspects of it. So this one, yeah, 3.75 out of 5 stars. And I also bought the physical copies in case you couldn't tell. Alright, so the next 3 books I did read for a 24-hour reading challenge that I did film for YouTube, but then all of the files corrupted and I lost the whole video. So the first book that I read was Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. This one, unfortunately, was probably the biggest disappointment that I've ever had with a book. Everybody really, really hypes this up, especially the plot twist at the end. It was meh, if I'm honest. A lot of these books that I read were meh. It was okay. I liked what was happening, but it's not something that I would rave about. Metal Slinger, it's a romantasy. We have 2 sort of warring tribes, I guess you could say. One tribe, which is our main character, that they have been sort of ostracized, banished to the ocean, and that's where they live, and every couple of years or so they come to the mainland to get food, supplies, things like that. On one of these trips to the mainland, our main character ends up causing a really big issue, a big event to happen, and that sort of sparks the beginning of this story. There is a lot that is unknown, and even though we follow it from the main character's perspective and she gets told and like things get revealed, it just didn't feel like it was enough. This book was very, I wouldn't say it was hard to follow, but there were times where I was just like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? I'm so confused. The magic system in this really wasn't that well explained, and I found myself really, really struggling to get through it. The plot twist at the end does not make sense considering as this book is written from first person, and the plot twist just, I don't get it. I don't get how it works. And that's all I'm gonna say. If you've read it, you understand what I'm trying to say. I would be interested in reading the second book just to see how it's gonna fix itself or how it's going to wrap it up. But ultimately I gave this one a 2.5 out of 5 stars, I think. Or maybe it was a 2.75, something around those lines. But yeah, I didn't really like this one. Which leads me then into the next one that I read, which was Shield of Sparrows by Devyn Perry. I believe this was on my June TBR 2 read. I can't remember exactly. But this one, another fantasy romance, another romantasy. There was monsters, there was a contract, an arranged marriage, and things like that. Another massive disappointment, unfortunately, particularly on the side of the relationship and the romance aspect of this book. I feel like people, just the moment they find out that there's a fantasy and there is obviously a love interest, they automatically label it as a romantasy, and this book was not. Romantasy is a fantasy that has a main plot of romance, and that sort of is one of the driving factors of the story. This book was a fantasy with a very, 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 very minor subplot of romance. This book was majority, like I'm talking 300 to 400 pages out of a 600 page book that was just travel and exposition and knowledge about the world, which you still don't even know because the main character didn't know it either. The romance in this was not romancing. There was banter, definitely. My SD card died, which was great. But our main character had maybe 3 or 4 conversations with the love interest. And then all of a sudden they're like confessing and lusting after one another. And I'm like, you've been on the road with him for like months now. And he's been like gone doing secret warrior stuff. And you're in love with him? Like, I did not understand it. And there was just too many things that I just did not like about it. I was really bored, if I'm honest. I don't think I'm going to pick up the rest of the series when they come out. Not unless people who agree with me like it, and then maybe I might, but I just really did not like this. I gave this one a 2.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Blood of Hercules. Again, people keep labeling stuff as romantasies when they are not romantasies. If anybody told you this book was spicy or that it had romance in it, they are lying to you and they have never read an actual romance or a romantasy. Our main character, Alexis, there are like demigods that are children of the Greek gods, and there is this training academy fight competition thing, and our main character ends up being a demigod even though she didn't know she was. There are these trainers that she doesn't even spend any time with, and I don't know, this book really confused me. I had a good time. I definitely enjoyed it, but I kept reading and I'm like, when is the romance gonna kick in? Like, I have 50 pages left of this book and there is no romance. The main character, Alexis, has like maybe 3 different interactions with characters who I thought were gonna be the love interest, and then it's not. This is a reverse harem, by the way, but I was just really confused, and I don't understand why people are labeling it as a romance when there is no romance. There is absolutely no romance. There's like interest and like possibly like a little bit of lust, but there was no romance, like at all. Because I was going into it expecting, you know, romance, and I didn't get anything. It was just really like rough training sequences that went on for like months at a time. It was like blood and guts and just... The main character had funny internal dialogue. That's for sure. She was definitely one of the funniest main characters I've read from. But everything else about this book, I was just super confused. And finally, after a 2-week long reading slump, because that's what Blood of Hercules put me into, These Scattered Bones. This is a sort of retelling, reimagining of a Greek myth, Eurydice, and it's a Greek myth retelling in a way. Our main character essentially on this journey to try and recover her lover's body parts that have been scattered across the realm as a punishment, because she was essentially the chosen one for the main goddess of this world. She was the chosen one to sort of be like the vessel. She was the chosen vessel, and they have to be like untouchable. Nothing can ever happen to them. Like, they have to be pure, no scars, no touching of anyone. Like, not even family members can touch her, and obviously definitely not men. And obviously our main character falls in love with somebody and throws away her chosen one vessel status, and unfortunately they are caught, and as punishment her lover is absolutely brutally murdered and his body parts are scattered across the realm, and she has to go on a journey to try and recover them so that she can bring him back. She sort of makes a deal with not death, but essentially death. She has to go through all of these ordeals to try and recover all the pieces of him, which is kind of what the Greek myth is about. I can't remember who the other person is. There's Eurydice and like, it's like Orpheus, possibly. The husband's wife tragically dies and he travels to the underworld to request that his love be returned to him from Hades and Persephone. They agree, but on the condition that when they are traveling back to the human realm, back to the world, that he does not turn around until after they make it back. Unfortunately, he doesn't. It's really sad. He doesn't end up managing to like not turn around, and I think it's because he believes that she's not following him or something or other, and she ends up dying and he's unable to get her soul back. That's kind of like what the myth is, and then the story is obviously what I've explained. I liked this. The writing was absolutely beautiful, and I definitely would be interested in like reading more from the world. I feel like it is a very short book. I think it's only like 200 and maybe 50 to 70 pages, so it's a novella length book, but I did really enjoy it, and I had a lot of respect for what the author was trying to do. I just feel like there was a lot of world building that kind of made it a little bit confusing, especially because while I knew that it was going to be like a retelling or like a reimagining of a Greek myth, I kept trying to picture the Greek gods as the main gods in this book, which they are not. Like links to them, but they are definitely not the Greek gods. Like you wouldn't be able to pick out like, oh, that's that Greek god, that's that Greek god. It was definitely more fantastical and inspired by the myth, but yeah, I just feel like it was very hard to try and focus on the gods and the magic system in the world of what this place was set in. So I wish we could have more series that are based in the world, or at least more books based in the world. I don't know if the author has written it or not. I'll have to look into that. But I really did enjoy it, and I did end up giving it, I think it was a 2.75 or a 3 stars. Those are the books that I read for June. Let's get into the TBR for July. Now, if you did not see last month's TBR jar video, I have 2 TBR jars. This one is filled with TBR prompts. This one, embarrassingly so, is filled with all of my physical unread books that I have, as well as the books that I have on my Kindle that are also unread. Let's go through and we'll pick a couple of the TBR prompts, and then we'll go and pick a couple from the physical reading, is what I was trying to say. TBR jar. This one. I don't know if you're going to be able to read that or not. A book you've never heard anything about. So I have 2 books that we can use for this. So the first one is going to be The Spellshop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is like a cozy fantasy, I'm pretty sure, but it does have like this slight undertone of darkness, which I think is quite interesting. So it's about a librarian who has to escape, and she has a sentient spider plant as an assistant. They have to flee when the library goes up in flames, and they go to the faraway island that the main character grew up on. To her dismay, in addition to a nosy and very handsome neighbor, she finds the Empire has been draining power from the island. Keela is determined to make things right, but opening her own secret spell shop comes with its own risk. The consequences of sharing magic with others is death. So I'm gonna read this one, I think, possibly. But the other one that I have is this incredible copy of The Immortal Dark. This is by Tigest Girima. I actually don't know what it's about. Look at these incredible sprayed edges as well. And also these end pages. Like, excuse me. So I'm pretty sure this is like academic. A lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. Oh, well, that's an interesting name. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm actually going to go with the Spellshop. Let's do the next prompt. Trying to dig down to a 1 on the bottom. That's 1. What does it say? A dark romance book. Oh, I literally just had it in my head and now it's gone. I actually don't have any dark romances physically. There's one in my Kindle and I'm filming on my phone. Is Redeeming 6 classified as a dark romance? Probably not, hey? Do we do Leave Me Behind or Hunting Adeline? I've asked my best friend, she will make the decision for me. All right, let's go to the next one while we wait for her response. I think I'm gonna do 6, so we'll do 3 of these and then we'll do 3 physical. No, two physical TBR and then 4 of these. Oh, she responded. She says Hunting Adeline. Okay, well that's our dark romance read. A hyped book on TikTok or Instagram. Oh, wait. We're gonna go with Lightlark. I am going to read it. I'm excited but nervous. Okay, yeah, that's 3. Okay, next one. A number in the title. Oh, God. Oh, I'm an idiot. Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. I already have this, like, as something that I'm reading because I've already started it and I'm making my way through the series, but this will be good. Alrighty, let's go into the physical and Kindle reads. So it is quite full. Purple is Kindle reads and then blue is the physical books that I have on my shelves. There. My cat has gotten into these and I found these all over the place, so some of them probably look a little bit worse for wear. I don't know if this is upside down or not. Oh, the Way of Kings! I mean, I have been saying I've wanted like a really like full-on fantasy. Was I expecting like the biggest one I have? No. So just as like a little bit of background, I have already read this, but I read it probably like 2 or 3 years ago, so I do not recall anything that happened in it. So this will be interesting. This is getting to be a very big stack of books. Okay, another physical. That's a long title. City of Lost Souls. This is part of the Shadow Hunters universe. I have already read like I think about 4 or 5 of the books in that series, but this is going back like a while ago when the series was incomplete and still being published. So that being said, this is going to be replaced with City of Bones. So this is the year that I'm going to do my reread and finally finish. Oh my god. This is a massive stack of books, guys. You guys, this is a stack. That is a massive stack. I mean, like, yes, I know I did finish, like, Binding and Keeping and Saving 6 all within 24 hours, essentially, because they read really, really quick, so that's fine. And Lightlark is a YA, and so is City of Bones. I don't know if the Spellshop is a YA or not, but oh my goodness. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure Haunting Adeline is like 600-700 pages. Okay, well that's my stack. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know which ones are you excited for me to read. Let me know what you guys are going to be reading for the month of July. And yeah, let me know if you want to see any like specific reading vlogs for this. I might do a reading vlog for Lightlark. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.